when Ethan said that he just kind of got to know Brett and Tim within the last 48 hours, he believes that is a lie, and he called it a lie in his video.
No, this guy, first of all, Tim, nice to meet you.
Hi.
I don't think I've ever spoken to you before. I'm a fan. I pre-ordered your book.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
We pre-ordered Thump from way back when. But although I've watched you and it feels like I know you, I don't think I've ever spoken to you before, not like this. Brett I've known forever. Brett I've known from my Facebook days, where Brett came out swinging. Brett was a rowdy conservative on my Facebook page. So Brett I've absolutely known forever. But
those were the days.
Yeah, what Captain Cummings misunderstood is that when I had no idea that these gentlemen were the people involved with Space Force. Had no idea. I don't pay attention. I live at my desk. I live in my own world where I put together my own stuff. Now I saw some artwork that did not look like Tim's of Trump. It was painted artwork. And I saw that it was published by Antarctic Press. I was not. I'm getting over it because of my love for this man in the middle of it. Edwin said, Ethan, take a breath. I want you to forgive Antarctic Press. And I said, hold on. I forgive Antarctic Press for what they did to my friend, Zach. And I'm fiercely loyal to my friends. If you have me for a friend, you're going to be glad that you have me for a friend, because I'll never backstab you, ever. I'll always stand by you. I'll always protect you. I'll always do whatever I can for you. What they did to diversity in comics, they let him down. And I understand why. Edwin made me kind of go, put myself in their shoes, and I was in their shoes a little while ago when it was just like, when you're bewildered when the SJWs first swarm you. You don't know what's going on. If you don't know what to expect, you don't know what's going on, and you might make a poor decision. They might overwhelm you. And that is, I think, what happened. I think that's what happened to Antarctic, and I'll forgive them.
Well, this is a good. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just want to clean up real quick here. When I was asked about another Trump book, I've seen a bunch of these Trump books. I don't know if you guys are all responsible for them. I saw an Incredible Hulk Trump book. I think Brett had something to do with that. I've seen a ton of Trump books, and my attitude about them has remained consistent, which is that I know it's parody, and I understand that Trump Macadamia is really, really good. I have not read it yet. Bump was excellent. But that's not what I want this movement to be, and that's just my opinion. I'm not the king of anything. I'm not the leader of Comicsgate. When I say that's not what I want, that doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. Somebody just asked me my opinion about it, and so I said I don't want overtly political books, whether right wing or left wing. Go ask Vox Day if I'm consistent on that point. He'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, you said the same thing to me before, like months ago when I brought something up.
So that's my thing, but I don't wish anybody harm. Now, Doug came to me, and Doug said, but you don't understand. Your voice is really loud, metaphorically. And when you say something like that, it could hurt someone's livelihood. And it's like, okay. I'll just go back to my policy of not commenting on comic books at all. But, that's where that whole mishap came from. I understand that you guys were aggrieved about it. I feel bad that you guys are aggrieved about it, but at the same time, you guys could come to me. I'm not scary. I promise you. You guys can come to me and tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I'll listen. You don't have to talk to each other about how, Ethan's getting too big for his britches and he needs a beat down. I don't need that. I'd rather be friends. I'd much rather be friends.
Tim?
Okay, can I talk?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry. That was my essay.
No,
that was my speech.
No, Ethan, it is a pleasure to meet you. We've been running in the same circles since 2016, so it's kind of bewildering that this is the first time that we've actually spoken to each other, and we had a chance to talk via DM recently today, and I appreciate that. That's really cool. Douglas Ernst actually had a very good metaphor that he said a while ago, where he said, It's like you have like EVS staying in one lane, and then you have Tim staying in another. And I like that metaphor because that's essentially like how I think of it. I think of myself as, this is really cool. It's like there's 3 lanes of a road, or 4 lanes or 5 lanes. Each one's in his own lane. Once in a while we kind of cross over, but every time we cross over, we wave and say hi, and it's all been cordial. I know where Captain Cummings is coming from because of an exchange, and it was an exchange that occurred. I found out about it the day after it happened, and it was transmitted to me by several people, 6 in particular, and they wanted my opinion on it. So I have the transcript right here, and I'd like to read it to you.
No.
It's in your Drawing Hornets. It's in your Drawing Hornets Nest video, and it was taken on June the 18th. And I have the transcript, and this is what it says. It says, "I said to Zach, and I said to all of them, quote, stop making these Trump comics. Stop. I think Chuck is working on some Trump in space book. Look, it's not 2016 anymore." Where Captain Cummings was mad is that he asked me, is that true? Did he talk to you? Because it says, quote, I said, in past tense, I said to all of them. That is not true. We are just meeting for the first time today. And I talked to Brett, and I said, has he ever talked to you? And he said, no. And I asked Mark Pellegrini, who's working with Mitch on Red Rooster, has Ethan reached out to you? He said, no. Then I said, where is this coming from? And we all said, I don't know, because we don't know anyone else who's making Trump books except us. Now, I agree with your position, actually. I've actually heard your conversations with Vox Day, and I think from a principled point of view, I actually agree with you. The way that Brett and myself and Mark and Chuck see this is we were very inspired by what you and Mitch had to go through in 2016. Mark and I had not worked in comics at all, but we were so passionate and we saw what happened to you guys that we said, we're going to put our necks out there. We have nothing to lose because no one knows who we are. We have no reputation for these people to throw down. So we created these books, and essentially when we talked to Brett was the one who was actively saying, who out there can risk themselves and their reputation to do this? And it was Mark and I. He can tell you. Mark and I said, hey, we're 2 people who no one has ever heard of. Can you take a risk on us? And Brett said, I love your idea. Yes, we will do this. So we see ourselves as kind of like the black ops operation of Comicsgate. We do kind of almost like the wet work subversive stuff, and we don't expect other people to support us at all. We like the people that we got because we were able to tap into the MAGA market, and that's the audience that we're trying to tap into. And obviously, like Mitch and Mark and I have talked about it, and we said, it is kind of difficult to thread that path, but I am the one taking that risk, and I'm okay with it. And when people say we don't want politics, that's okay. I'm perfectly okay with that. But I think where the problem came in was, one, the fact that you said, I said to all of them, that's one thing. And the second thing was, I felt that you were throwing shade at us, and I have never met you before, and I have never said an unkind word about CYBERFROG or anyone's project. My philosophy personally is, if there's a project that's not to my taste, I just don't talk about it. And that's not because that's a policy for all comics. That's a policy for friends and for allies. Even someone like, how Zach is always like, oh, I want you to roast my book. I want you to roast my book. I personally would never roast his book because he's my friend. And if I say something that might dissuade someone from not buying it, then I don't want that to be an influence. And so a lot of it boils down to personal preference. For me, it was water off a duck's back because you said that. And personally, my opinion was, well, Ethan's kind of an unreachable person because he's a celebrity. I've talked to many people who said that you're a very difficult person to reach. So I actually didn't take it too personally. I just thought it was kind of strange because I thought to myself, well, I don't know why he's doing this because I have never interacted with you before. And like I said, after talking with you today and our interactions, you're a very kind person. And you have even said that that you say things and sometimes you're not thinking. And I understand that the error is human, but where Captain Cummings is coming from is that statement of, I said to all of them. And that's not true.
Right, because, okay. What do you mean it's not true? Who's all of them? I didn't even know you guys were doing the book, as I just stated. So when I said all of them, I mean my friends. I'm talking about Cummings, I'm talking about DNC, I'm talking about all of the guys that I consider to be in my circle of Comicsgate.
I think he's saying that that you didn't say it the way that Captain Cummings is interpreting it, if I'm hearing.
Well, no, he's reading the transcript, and that's how I would say that. I'd be like, yeah, I was talking to all of them, and I was like, stop it with the Trump books. That's how I talk. I'm from Jersey. I didn't mean
Right, but-
all of them didn't include Timothy Lim and Brett R. Smith because I don't talk to them. Do you understand?
that's what
I don't know them.
That's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. The exact transcript says, stop making these Trump comics. But who
That's
else
right.
is making Trump comics except me, Brett, Chuck, and Mark?
I just found out that you guys are the only ones just this minute.
Right. So then you did not say to all of them. That's the point.
No.
Okay,
I
okay.
said to all of them, my group, my friends who are making comics together, stop making the Trump comics. We're not going to make Trump comics. That's the misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is not that I went to you guys and claimed ever to talk to you guys about this, because from my perspective, from my vantage point, I'm sitting here and I'm seeing 11 Donald Trump comics, parody comics, and I don't know that they're all coming from you guys. They seem to all be coming from Antarctic Press, but I don't know that they're coming from the same creative team. And so because, as I just expressed to you, I don't understand that you guys, until now, are the team that is producing all of these Trump comics. To me, it just seems like Antarctic Press is kicking out all of these Trump comics. When I say to my friends, my inner circle, and we're talking about how to make conservative-based, without politics, but coming from right-wingers, comic books, I would say to all of them, stop making these Trump comic books. That's not what we do. We don't want to make political comic books that make other people not want to buy them, people on the other side. We want to be making comics for everyone. So that's the confusion. I understand the literal translation of what you're looking at. When you're looking at my words non-conversationally, and you're lacking context, and you're not understanding the way I speak colloquially,
Well, what about
you're thinking that I'm talking to you guys and that I'm lying about having talked to you, but I don't talk to you at all. So
well, what about? Well, I guess then I didn't read the full transcript because I omitted the very first sentence, which was, quote, I think the idea of some of the better-known comic book artists and writers coming together, joining forces, only makes sense. I said to Zach, and I said to all of them. So the preceding sentence was the better-known comic book artists and writers coming together. So by all of them, that is referring to the very first statement, which was comic book artists and writers.
No, it was Zach and it was my YouTube friends.
That's fine.
Okay.
Isn't Antarctic Press also doing anti-Trump books as well?
Yes.
Because to me, Antarctic Press doing anti-Trump books and pro-Trump books and being explicit about that and marketing them to audiences that appreciate them, to me, that's what I think Comicsgate should be about, being open and honest and transparent about your product and letting the market decide, not saying we don't do political satire. Comics are for everybody, unless you want to do political satire and like Jonathan Swift and things like that.
Yeah. When I said that, that is my opinion about the way to go forward. But as I've said, I am not. You don't have to listen to me. You're in your lane. If somebody asks me my opinion of the best way to go forward, that was my opinion. But it wasn't to dismiss your guys' work at all. It was just like I kind of think that we should be creating brand new IPs that move forward that can be exploited in a larger way. I would like to grow. I would like to actually influence the world with these creations. So I apologize to you guys because you read that and you thought something that was completely unintended by me. And I probably completely devalued your hard work, even though I love Thump so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, the success that you've done will obviously it builds a lot of the groundwork for people moving forward. I know that Brett and I have talked extensively about culture wars, and some of us, I mean, like I said, being people who aren't very well established, we do like getting kind of down and dirty, and sometimes part of that means fighting a political battle. And I'm glad. I know that one thing that, and that's just a polite request, but because now you know who we are, I don't like throwing shade at anyone. We're all friends here. So let's assume that all of us end up doing books and that one of us has a book that might not be to our taste. I think it's a gentleman's agreement that knowing that and knowing where we come from, that part of being supportive is just knowing that if we have any influence whatsoever, that we just have to kind of watch what we say and coach it, because if we don't, then obviously it can have some ramifications.
Can I butt in here?
Sure.
So earlier, Ethan, you said that when people attack Richard, he's your friend. You're going to fight tooth and nail to support your friend. And so my thing is, if you want to go say things about Trump books, that's fine. But like earlier today, you said like it seemed like people were backstabbing you. when to me, it's really just about people who are friends with Tim and Mark and Brett and Chuck. If you say something, we're going to fight just as much tooth and nail for our friends as you are for Richard, who I also consider a friend as well. So it's like, it's not that we're stabbing you in the back, but we saw something as he's attacking our friend, and our only option is either to zip it and say nothing and let our friend twist in the wind, or come out swinging for him. And I said to myself, I'm going to come out swinging for my friend. If it destroys my YouTube channel, I don't care, because I'm loyal to him.
Then now do you understand that you're completely wrong about what you were saying that I said? And so there was no need to throw shade together as a group. Instead, to come to me and ask me to clarify one-on-one as a man about what this meant, what I meant by this. And then if possible, because I am friendly and I'm not the kind of guy who's going to be a complete dick, to publicly clarify what I meant. I'd be happy to have done that too. So now that we've established all of that,